All right, my friends. So, I get a lot of questions on Social Security benefits and how they're calculated. And I've done just numerous videos on this. But one thing that comes to mind a lot, actually, make sure my mic's on, okay, is that people say, oh man, my record earned my, I don't have mine here, but my record from 1985 doesn't look very good. So, I'm not going to make very much money from Social Security. Or how are they getting this my primary insurance amount when I was only making $10,000 in 1985 or something like that? So, I get that question a lot. And I think it's imperative for you to understand this because I'm just telling you, especially if you're thinking about maybe retiring early and you're looking at your history of benefits, you're like, oh man, I wasn't making that much back in the 80s, so my benefits going to be low. And then you see various YouTube things that says your social security statement is lying or is wrong or blah, blah, blah. So let's just cut to the chase and show you how to understand this. And so that way you can relax to some degree because it's just way too much stuff out there on the negative side of everything. Because, if it bleeds, it leads. Journalism 101, headline writing 101. You got to get people's attention. And people are a lot more attentive to things that look bad than they are to things that look good. So, welcome to Heritage Wealth Planning. Subscribe, thumbs up, and comments are always welcome. So, don't forget to do that. So, we're going to start with Wikipedia, where they talk about average index monthly earnings. And I want to show you, this is, and then we're going to go straight to the Social Security website. Because of wage inflation, I'm going to start right here. Because of wage inflation, the federal government indexes wages so that $35,648 earned in year 2004 is the exact same as the $23,753 earned in 1994. Those two figures came from the yearly list of National Average Wage Indexing Series. This series gross up earlier years' wages so that all years' earnings up to the age of 60 are put on equal footing. And we're going to talk about that. Because it takes more than 1 year to fully collect such data, and because some people have January birthdays, the age 62 calculation done in 2006 must be based on the most recent data, which is the 2004 national average wage. So that's what they're looking at, the national average wage of 2004. By law, all covered workers who attained 62 in 2006 must be treated the same with respect to wage indexing. So the 2004 figure for the national average wage must be used for the 2006 year and so on. Don't get caught up. This isn't 15 years young. I mean, old. We'll talk about just in a second. Thus, the age 61 and 62 wages will get a bonus because they will not be indexed downward. For workers with more than 35 years of covered wages, the average index monthly earnings will only take the highest 35 years of covered wages. Okay, so let's talk about that, what that means. So we're looking at 2004, and the average wage in 2004 was $35,648. Now, if we go back 10 years in 1994, that exact same salary was $23,753 in terms of the purchasing power. If we go back to 1984, right? So 16,000 in 1984 was the equivalent of 27,700 in 1994, which was the equivalent of 35,648 in 2004, which was the equivalent of 46,481 in 2014. So what does that mean? We'll go to in 1984, you only made 16,135. That's what it says on your Social Security statement. But that's not what your AIME, your average index monthly earnings, is based on. Your average index monthly earnings is based on is saying that 16,135 you made in 1984 is the exact same amount as it is 46,481 in 2014. So a lot of people, they'll look at their Social Security benefit and it'll give them a list, say 16,135. Well, that's not very much. And then they'll add all these up, 16,135 in 1984, 16,822 in 1985, 17,321 in 1986. They'll add all those up for 35 years, and they'll divide that by 420 to get their average index monthly earnings. The problem with doing that is you haven't indexed them. And you have to index 16,135 to what the equivalent of in 2014 is 46,481. Or in 2016, so if you made 16,135 in 2016, that is, or in 1984, that is the exact same amount as 48,000 today. And thus, if you're not indexing your 1984 earnings with the inflation amount that Social Security provides you on their website, you're going to show a huge divergence in your real Social Security number that could really be the difference of you deciding when or when to not retire. You can't do that. So basically, let's just say you just made the average wage every single year in retirement. What you do is you say the average wage in 2016 is 48,000. I'm going to take 2,000 or 48,000 and times that by 35. Then I'm going to divide by 420. That will be your average index monthly earnings. It won't be 16,000, 17,000, 18,000. I'll add all those up. That's not how you do it. So let's just look at the Social Security website specifically, because it'll give us even up till the end of 2017. And they'll show us, again, the national wage. Average index wage is 50,321 at the end of 2017, which means if we scroll down to here, here's 2017, 50,321. So let's go back to 1984. That meant in 1984, we have, where was it? Right here, 16,135 in 1984 is the equivalent of 50,321 today. So we take 50,321, divide that by 16,135, we have an indexing amount of 3.11. So that means we have to times this number by 3.11 in order to get this number right here, because it's the exact same amount. And that's the inflator, the indexing number that Social Security uses. So if you're only using what they show you on your statement to calculate your benefit, you are wrong. That is not reflective at all of what your true benefit is going to be. So just remember, as we close this up, if you have 50,000, if you made the average yearly earnings and what you're using. So if your average yearly earnings is average, and that means 50,000 in 2017. That meant in 1985 it was only 16,000, but 16,000 in 1985 is the exact same amount as 50,000 today. So what you do, if you just made the average wage each and every year of your life for 35 years, you made the average wage. That means you take 50,321 times that 50,321 times that by 35, then divide by 420, and it'll give you your AIME of right there, 4,193. All right, so 4,193 is your AIME. You minus that by, it's actually increased. I'm just going to use 2018 numbers. So 4,193 minus 895 times 0.32 plus 895. So that means you're going to get a monthly benefit of $1,950 at your full retirement age. So don't get too concerned about your Social Security statement being wrong. Understand how to index it for inflation the way it's supposed to be, which again means that in 1984, you've got to times that number, 16,135, by the indexed amount, which is over 3. You got times that by 3 to get your average wage today. I just cannot stress this. I get this question all the time. My Social Security statement doesn't look very good because I was only making 16,135 in 1984. So that's the same thing as 50,000 today. If that's all you made, then your PIA would be based on 50,000 a year for your average index monthly earnings, which means you're going to have a benefit of $1,950 a year at your full retirement age. All right. Hope this helps. As always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, put them down below, and we'll see you next time on the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.